Hello students and welcome back to the video lecture series of software engineering. Today's process is Agile process model. I am your instructor Ms. Shruti Rawal. So let us study the remaining process model. In previous lecture also we had studied some of the Agile process model. So this is in continuation. We are going to study further some of the process model which are remaining. The first process model that is from the Agile development which we are going to study is Scrum process model. Now let us study what do you mean by or what is the actual process. So the process model that we are going to study is Scrum process model, that is a part of Agile development. Now whenever you are going for Scrum methodology, there are certain technical terms that you need to understand. So up till now we have learned what are the stakeholders, what is a customer, what is a developer, etc. Right? So we know who are the people that are involved in your overall software development life cycle. Whenever you are following Scrum methodology, there is another stakeholder which is known as a product owner. Now this is someone which we have not studied. Okay, now who is product owner? Product owner is basically a person who takes all the inputs and updates of all the requirements of all the functional as well as non-functional requirements from customer. Also product owner takes the updates from the Scrum team, that is if there is some sort of change in the requirement, if there is some sort of change in the development schedule, then he will take the update from the Scrum team. Also all the executives and stakeholders will also be consulting product owner for the timely delivery of your software. So product owner is someone who will act as you can say a medium between Scrum team and a customer. So in Scrum methodology, directly the Scrum team is not into conversation with customer. Yes, they are in conversation with the customer in daily stand-up meetings, but if they have some problems, if they want to rectify something, they will first consult to product owner. Product owner will convey this part to customer and then the things can carry on from that, right? So this is a new person that is in the software development life cycle if you are following Scrum methodology. Product owner. Now what is the major role of product owner? As I told you, all the inputs and updates from customer, stakeholders and Scrum team comes to product owner. Now product owner is responsible for maintaining a product backlog. Now this term also you have not heard, backlog. What is a backlog? Backlog is nothing but it is a prioritized requirement list. So customer will give you all the functional as well as non-functional requirement based on the highest priority. The backlog will be, you can say, sorted, right? So all the higher priority requirements will be put first on the backlog and the lower priority will be put later on in the backlog. So backlog is nothing but it is just a list of requirement, but with sorting it with a priority. The next is all the responsibility related to this product backlog, that is if there is some new requirement, because we are following Agile methodology and the main focus of Agile methodology is to incorporate change even later in the development, right? So if there is a new requirement which customer is not telling you initially but in the later development stages, yes, the product backlog can consist of the requirements in later on stages also. So the product owner is responsible for accommodating all the requirement changes as well as the new requirement in the product backlog as well as prioritizing that requirements, that is the changes, right? Why? Because we want the product to be successful. So he is the product owner. Now the next thing is Scrum team. So we have a Scrum team, that is a highly motivated Agile team which are taking some of the decisions on their own, but if they want to consult for any rectification or updation, they will consult to the product owner, right? Now basically what is the role of Scrum team? Scrum team is basically the team of developers, testers who are developing the actual product or testing the actual product. Now for the development in Scrum methodology, you have a sprint. Now what do you mean by a sprint? Sprint is basically of duration from 1 week to 4 weeks, which will consist of some of the requirements taken from the backlog which are to be implemented for the deployment, right? So we know that in every Agile process model, the deployment is done in incremental strategy, right? So you are giving something for the customer to use, right? So in the first deployment, you will deliver only the requirements which are included in the first sprint. Okay, so sprint is nothing but all the requirements that you are going to implement currently, and the duration is very tight because there is a time boxing strategy that is used in the sprint from 1 week to 4 weeks. Now you may wonder that, ma'am, if in between the sprint, if there is some new requirement which is to be accommodated, will we accommodate that in between the sprint? No. When you are in a current sprint, you are not going to accommodate any new requirement or updation in the current requirement list of the sprint. All the requirement changes will directly go to the product backlog, which the product owner is already managing. He or she will prioritize the requirement changes, and all the changes will be incorporated according to the priority in next sprints, but not into the current sprint, because we don't want the current sprint to delay. So everything that is in the current sprint will be going on as it is planned, right? So the Scrum team is responsible for maintaining the sprint backlog as well as the sprint meetings. Now we will see shortly what do you mean by a sprint meeting. But before sprint meeting, I have already told you that sprint is something that you are going to implement. So that is the functionalities that you are going to deliver to the customer for use and for the feedback, right? So that is having a time boxing strategy of 1 to 4 weeks. Now according to the Scrum methodology, you need to review all the sprint functionalities. You have to do retrospectives, right? So retrospective is you have to self-analyze whether the things that you are performing is a quality functionalities or not, right? So that is the reviews are performed by the expert, retrospective is done by yourself, and there is daily stand-up meetings. Normally the meeting ranges from 10 to 15 minutes. Now who is performing this daily stand-up meeting? It is between the you can say stakeholders or customers and the developers, wherein you discuss that what was actually assigned the previous day, right? That you have completed, what are the things that you could complete, what are the things that you could not complete, and what are the things that you are going to complete today, right? So this daily stand-up meetings are generally performed early when the person comes to the office, right? So that they discuss what was done previously and today what we are going to do, right? And the next day again it is discussed. So the cycle repeats on every day. That is known as daily stand-up meetings, so that you can get an idea that where you are according to the schedule. Are you lacking behind or you are going as per the schedule? Okay, so that is what daily stand-up, or you can say Scrum meeting, is all about. Next, who are responsible for giving you the feedback in Scrum methodology? All the stakeholders, contributors and the customers are responsible for giving you some of the feedback, right? Because we want that our product should be a quality product. We don't want to compromise in quality. So in Scrum methodology, it is very important to take feedback from the contributors, and necessary rectification should be applied, not in the current sprint but in the next sprint, that is upcoming sprints. Now there is another person who is involved in all this Scrum meeting, that is known as a Scrum Master. Now Scrum Master is a person who motivates the Scrum team, okay, because Scrum team is doing meetings daily, right? So they need to be motivated. They are communicating with the customers, they are communicating, taking feedback directly from the contributors. So it is a possibility of that there may be debate between the developer team and the customer, right? So we don't want such sort of tense environment in Agile methodology, because that is surely the basis for the project failure. So we don't want to motivate such tension. As a result of this, Scrum Master is responsible for checking that all the process is done smoothly and the product that Scrum team is delivering to the customer is a quality product, because the final stage is you have to deploy the finished product, right? You have to give the output. So whatever functionalities you are developing in this 1 to 4 week of sprint time that you have to deliver to the customer. You will take feedback from the customer, you will apply rectification in the backlog, again you will do for the second sprint some of the functionalities. Also it may be possible that some of the previous functionalities are updated which you need to incorporate in the current sprint. So the cycle goes on, but Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for the smooth process. So if you have any doubt in the process, if there is some quality compromise, Scrum Master will be the person who is going to communicate with the developers directly, right? So product owner is basically communicating with the customers, and Scrum Master is a person who is directly communicating with the developers. So there are two different persons assigned so that the Scrum methodology, if performed, gives you a quality product. Okay, so this is the Scrum process model in Agile. The next process model that we are going to study is feature driven development process. Now as the name suggests, you might get an idea that feature driven development. So here the main purpose or the main focus of this process model is on features. Okay, so let us see what is the overall process that is followed in FDD. The first thing is you are developing an overall model. Now what do you mean by an overall model, ma'am? In the first phase of feature driven development, a general walkthrough is done, right? On what? On the domain on which you are going to make the product, right? So you may have multiple domains that are interrelated in your product. Okay, so a general walkthrough is done in every domain which is incorporated in your project. According to every domain, and you can say small models are created, right? And at the end of phase 1, after merging all these small domain models, you will get an overall process model for designing your feature driven development. Clear what is the first phase? So in first phase you are going for the scope and general walkthrough of the domain. It is a possibility that there are multiple domains involved. For every domain you are going to make small models, and at last you are merging that models, and an overall, you can say, integrated model is developed, right? The second thing after, you can say, developing an overall model is you are building a features list, because as the name suggests, this is a feature driven development. So the main focus is on the features that the customer is requesting. So a list of features is grouped, and because we have small domain models in the first phase, now we are going to go into the details. So for a particular domain, what is the subject area that we are going to target? What does the subject area consist of? It consists of all the business activities, it consists of all the business processes, it consists of all the business constraints of that particular domain area, right? So we are developing a list of features according to the subject area of that particular project. The next thing after developing the list of features is, yes, you have to develop a plan. Planning in any software development life cycle is very important, because that provides you a guide map that how you will go further. Okay, so because we have the list of features according to the subject area, the developers will plan all the class owners, that what will be the classes that will be implemented, right, according to the features, who will implement that classes, when are those classes going to be implemented, right? So everything is decided in your planning by feature phase. After that, you have the phase that is known as design by feature. So in planning phase, we have the feature set owner, that who is going to develop, when he is going to develop, but how he is going to develop, that is not yet decided. That is decided in design by feature, in which you are going to make design, that is all sorts of design, architecture design, component design, every design you are going to make according to the features that you have already listed out. Okay, so that is, you are designing by features. So a design package is delivered at the end of this phase, and after this the actual building of all the features is performed, right? So this is basically completely the client valued function that you are going to deliver to the client, so that client may give you feedback. Okay, so it is a possibility that you are delivering this in increments. It is also a possibility that you are taking the feedback, rectifying the current methodologies that you are using, and you are delivering something that is a better version of the previous thing in the next version. Okay, so this is basically the feature driven development. The next process model is lean software development process model. Now, lean software development process model is a process model that has been taken from the, you can say, physical world or hardware world. Now, Toyota is the first company who actually adopted this lean software development, not lean software development, lean methodology. What does lean development actually suggest? It tells that whenever you are developing something, whether it is a car or it is a software, lean process means that you have to eliminate the waste. Now, what is waste with respect to car? There may be certain features and functionalities that you are providing in a car which are very unnecessary and which customer will not use, right? So you have to first identify what are the waste functionalities that we are providing to the customer, which is taking a longer duration for the production to complete of this car, right? So there may be some functionalities in the car itself, there may be some functionalities, or you can say there may be some process inefficiencies which is taking forever. You have to eliminate all such type of waste, and if you are eliminating the waste, then it is known as a linear process, okay, lean development, right? So this was actually developed by Toyota. After that, all the car manufacturing companies took inspiration from Toyota, and they are also following this lean development. From the car development, it came to other hardware, and from other hardware, it ultimately came to our software industry, wherein there are certain inconsistency in software also. That is, we are eliminating the waste as much as possible, because we know that whenever you are following a process in software development life cycle, there are certain overhead, right? For example, if you have something that is partially completed and you are going for the documentation or inventory of that partially completed thing, so that is an overhead. You can eliminate such waste. There may be some functionalities which are not necessary for the customer, but still you are delivering. Why are you delivering? We don't know, right? It may be exciting for the customer, but that is not necessary, right? So we are if we are following lean development, we are just focusing on what customer requires. We don't want the customer to get excited and appraise you, right? We want the customer to be satisfied, and we want the project to be a success. So that's the main motto of lean software development, wherein you are eliminating all the extra erroneous functionalities. Also, there may be some delay, or there is a backlog in, for example, testing. Testing is taking forever. Why it is taking forever? You have to find out, you have to eliminate that things in lean software development. The next thing that you do in lean software development is empower the team. Why empowering the team is necessary here? Because we know that we are working very fast in lean software development. We want to do everything rapidly. Also, we want to do it with very high quality. So this needs the team to be empowered and work into a particular direction. So empowering the team is very important in every agile methodology, including lean software development. The next is deliver fast. That we have already discussed, that lean software development, we are not wasting any time. Yes, we are eliminating the waste, and ultimately that waste elimination will deliver your software very fastly. The next thing or characteristic of lean software development is optimize the whole. You are optimizing everything, right? So what does optimizing everything means? It means that all the process are being optimized, the product itself is being optimized, the work products are optimized, the, you can say, feature or the functionalities are optimized, right? So everything is optimized as a whole in lean software development. The next is yes, you can build quality in. Now for building quality software, lean software development indicates that the first thing that you will do is do not make any error, right? If you are not making any error, there is no need to rectify it, right? So that is a very beneficial way to look at it, but we are humans and humans are to err, so there is an error involved. But if there is an error involved, what we will do, we will rectify it as soon as we encounter that error, because in certain process model what we do, we delay the testing, right? That yes, we know that there are some errors, but we will rectify it later on. Let us move on some other phase, right? So don't do that if you are following the lean software development. If you are encountering the error, as fast as possible you have to rectify that, right? The next is defer the decision. What do you mean by defer the decision? Do not be stubborn about your previous decisions. If you are following lean software development process model, you have to incorporate the changes in your decision that you have made. It is a possibility that in the previous functionality that you have discussed with the customer told you to deliver the functionality in 4 days, right? But now customer is demanding it in 3 days. You have to defer your own decision. You have to defer the decision that you have made with the customer. Why? Because we want the customer to be satisfied, and for that eliminate the waste, fasten the process, but deliver the thing to your customer. So you have to defer your own decision. You may not agree to this, but that is how lean software development works. And the last thing is amplify learning. Learn. That is the only motto in lean software development. If you want to deliver the software very fast, if you want to encounter the errors as soon as they occur, if you want to rectify them as soon as possible, what is the best way to do so? You must be a skilled person. And how is it possible? You have to amplify your learning to 2x or 3x speed. Right. So if you are following lean software development, you have to amplify your learning. You have to learn everything at once that you can grasp on. Right. So that was all about lean software development. The last process model is Agile uniform process model. Now this is just a general process model. This is not a specific process model. Here we are going to study the basic, you can see the phases that are performed in all the Agile methodology unified. The first phase that is performed is modeling. Now what is a modeling phase? We already know that modeling is designing, right? So we are actually giving you a rough, you can say, sketch, or you are giving a rough model of what we are going to implement in this project. That is modeling. So whenever you are following Agile methodology, your modeling should be very accurate. Why? Because we are taking this as a basis and then we are going to implement it. It is a possibility that this modeling will have changes in the later stages. That is, if you are in the implementation stage in Agile methodology, it is possible that there are changes in your modeling phase. You have to develop an architecture in such a way that all those changes can be accommodated, right? The next phase is implementation. So after the designing phase or the modeling phase, we know that we have to implement, we have to actually write the code, right? So we know that most of the Agile models are basically delivering the software in short time duration and a limited set of functionalities at once, right? So that is how implementation is done in Agile methodology. So you have less to implement, right? So you will implement it very, you can say, with very high quality. So that is the basic motto of implementation in Agile methodology. The next is environment. All the environment that you are concerned with, the software environment, also the company environment. You have to motivate the team. The team should be self-organizing, right? Because we have already discussed that if you are following an Agile methodology, not all the decisions are made by the leader. There are some decisions that are to be made by the developer himself, right? So they must be provided such environment that decisions are okay if you make them. The next is testing. Now testing should be very thorough and it should be very quick in Agile methodology, because we want to deliver a software to customer which is error free. Okay, And for that, because every agile model is different, the testing strategy is very different in every agile model. Normally test driven development is performed in most of the agile process model, wherein you rigorously unit test all the functionalities, right? The next is project management. Now we know what is a project management, right? Project management is the overall management of your project that includes all the people of your project management, all the work products, the schedule that you are making, all the risk which are associated. So this is a wholesome package which is known as project management. And if you are following agile modeling, project management is very important. Okay. The next is deployment. Now deployment to the customer, again I told you that it is a possibility that if you are using any of the agile process models, then you are delivering some of the functionalities to the customer. Customer is giving you feedback and you are rectifying the previous version according to the feedback and delivering a modified version in the next deployment release. Okay. And you can say the last thing is configuration management. Now we know what do you mean by software configuration management, what are the configuration items. So here also you have to identify what are the configurable items, you have to maintain all the versions of that configuration items, right? We know that there are different versions, there are different configurable items which are to be affected by the change, and you have to maintain change of that configuration items in every version separately. So it is better that you use some configuration management tool, version management tool, and maintain everything in detail, right? So this was all about the phases, or you can say the process of agile unified modeling, and this was all about today's lecture. Thank you.